Open University System of Brazil presents support pools in the North, Northeast, and South regions. Now we will know the general guidelines of the work started in June 2011, which focuses the present support pools of the Open University System of Brazil, UAB. 1. The UAB system. Since 2007, the Coordinator of Improvement of Higher Education, CAPES, has been directly involved with programs for the teachers' initial and continuing training on basic education in the public institutions of higher education of the country, IPES. The UAB system is one of the flagships of the IPES-CAPES partnerships in favor of teacher training in Brazil. In this system, the courses are semi-presential and the present support poles are a strong structural element. These poles are characterized by concentrating the activities of countless public institutions of higher education in a common space, with technological infrastructure capable of providing conditions of educational development at any time and demand, according to the semi-distance education modality. 2. These UAB poles. In order to study the role, the working practices, and the evaluation procedures of the UAB present support poles, firstly, it's important to define the period to be studied. The years between 2005 and 2010, the first term of the Board of Distance Education Management, marked the onset of the program, as well as a large measure of its current configuration. In second place, the focus would be on the following Brazilian regions: North, Northeast, and South. The three areas of the country arbored 64% of the system active polls in 2010. These polls were highlighted according to the following criteria. A. They are operating since 2008. B. They were evaluated by SEED. C. They are located in different microregions of their states. D. These 68 polls making 18% of the total universe of the UAB system. Given this brief overview on the present support polls panorama, we will share the general framework. The highlighted cells represent the points of higher occurrence in the system. From them, we can assure that the poles of the UAB system, on average, are located about 200 miles from the capitals of their states in cities of 12 to 30,000 inhabitants, and they offer 10 to 15 courses of initial and continuing training, and their partnerships occurs in general with federal universities. In these types of poles, there are different occurrences of coordinators' profiles, as we can verify in the next item. 3. Profile of UAB pole coordinators. From 68 coordinators interviewed, 50 are women and about 30 are between 40 and 50 years. Before joining the UAB system, they acted as managers on teacher training projects. They usually report their appointment to the post of pole coordinators to the highlight and innovation of their work on these projects. The synoptic table of this professional's profile is configured as follows. Although the profiles are distinct, the pole's coordinators conditions were recurrent as the table below. In our studies, we were able to verify that combination of the several types of poles, coordinators, profiles, and conditions of management practices can cause the following results. The pole defined as type A is the one that represents the most part of the poles in Brazil. Thus, it can be taken as a reference or model for the types of poles evaluated. 4. The official assessments. Evaluated by Ministry of Education in 2010, 61% of the poles were classified as an intermediate level of service quality. It means they have enough infrastructure for degree courses in humanities, but they are not able to offer courses in physics, chemistry, and biology. It indicated that from the aspect of infrastructure and institutionalization, main concern of these evaluation tools, the UAB system was still unprepared to meet the essential demands of teacher training in Brazil, even if it is their great goal. In this research, the tools and instruments of official assessments were put into discussion through a virtual forum from the Moodle platform in order to check these hypotheses. In these discussions, the main finding of the pole coordinators is that the factors that most hinder in the system's optimization are the evaluators and their assessment process, and not the evaluation tools. It's because the posture of the evaluators is punitive. Their knowledge of the system of public distance learning is restricted, and their concern for infrastructure is excessive. These coordinators highlighted in their final observations on the instruments how their colleagues deal with the IP's representatives and with the maintainers. We consider this an important point to stress because it shows what it is the role that the coordinators understand to occupy in the system. Their management is diplomatic in order to maintain the balance between distance forces and interests. So, for these coordinators, the most important thing to study is the practice of management and not the infrastructure. Final remarks. The poles of the UAB system are a complex entirety but not yet an interconnected or tuned network. Establishing tune in this network from the classification of its most frequent types could contribute for the development, evaluation, and the furtherance standards more appropriate to the needs met by these poles. Promote interconnection among the poles could optimize this tune and, as it about an implementation program on distance learning mode courses, the cyber infrastructure seems to be an interesting proposal not yet explored. Thus, not only towards establishing a high level of detail of the types of poles liable to assessment, the gradation of the quality parameters established at the moment, but also through a greater complexity of recommendations and ways of monitoring the system's feedback. We can also seek improvements for the team of UAP polls through a cost-effectiveness methodology of increasing efficiency in favor of teacher education in the country.